Okay, so that was a wonderful life, and I decided to play this piece uh, tonight because I was looking at my YouTube channel, and there's a section with ideas from YouTube on what your next video should be, and one of the ideas was composing a wonderful life, and I actually thought it was a nice idea because I wrote this piece during the lockdown, and it was a strange time, as I guess it was for a lot of people. And I was reading a lot of philosophy and listening actually to a lot of podcasts while walking outside. And one of the philosophers I came across was Ludwig Wittgenstein, which was a British Austrian philosopher, and I liked his philosophical concepts, but I was mostly inspired by the way he lived his life. And I saw a documentary which was called A Wonderful Life, which was about his life. And I was very inspired by the way he lived, which was very honorable in my opinion. And I wrote this piece. And when I wrote this piece, I thought it was a very introspective, kind of atmospheric piece that would be part of the 5-track EP that I released, and I didn't think it would be. I thought other pieces from that EP would be more successful than that one, but it turned out that this piece was actually the most successful. As of now, it has by far the most streams compared to any other one. I think it's about 160,000 on Spotify because it was included in a Spotify editorial playlist. It was played on BBC Radio, and I'm trying to think if there were any other places. I mean, it still gets played quite a lot, even now that is 4 and more years later on. So it really turned out to be actually definitely the most successful piece from that album, and maybe so far the most successful in general. And even when I played live, people really like it because I always thought it would be a very introspective piece. There were other pieces that were more, outgoing and extroverted, and this was very, very quiet, very delicate. I thought maybe it wouldn't be good live, but it goes really well live as well, and I usually open with that piece. So I was thinking of that, and then I was thinking that we never really know when we are, for anyone creative, be it musicians, writers, painters, inventors, anything really, that you're making something, you're creating something, and you're putting it out to the world. We never really know which piece, which painting, which invention is going to really be received well or be successful, out in the real world. And many times when I hear from other musicians as well, we have these ideas that I think this piece will be the hit, or this will be the one to really promote, or to really to put all my effort in. and then you release all the all the songs or all the pieces, and then it turns out that something else really catches on, and the people really love something else, and they might even like it because it brings out to them other things that you were thinking at the time. Um, so it's we and that leads me to the next thing, to the next conclusion from that thought, which would be that because we don't know what is going, how something will be received, it's my opinion that we have to not think about that when we actually write the piece, when we are in the creative process. It's not easy because these days most of the musicians and other creatives are DIY, we are independent, we are doing a lot of things at the same time, and writing and performing music is one of them, and many times is a small percentage of our activities. So it's not easy actually to let go of all that, but we really need to learn how to separate those two. So when you're in the writing process, if you start thinking about, this is trendy, and the other piece I wrote 2 years ago, it went really well, so I should write something that is similar to that. So if you start thinking like that, you're killing the creative process at that moment, because all you can do is try to create something new at the moment that you're in. Because the moment you wrote the other piece was a different one. You were different, the circumstances were different. There are so many things that affect the way that an idea comes, the environment, the way you feel. So then you're not really living in that moment. You are somewhere else. You're in the past, or you're worried about the future, how that the future song is going to be received. And to really create something, we need to be in the moment. We need to, when an idea comes in, sometimes completely by surprise, we need to just live in that moment 100%, and then take the idea where it wants to go. Because the idea was born in that moment. If you decide to not improvise that morning, and you go out for a walk, and then you come back from the walk, that moment is gone. Like, as is the case with other things as well. I mean, once you have the idea, it's quite easy to develop it later, but I think the moment the idea comes, I think it's good to stay with it for a while you are in that moment. So, the only thing we can control is the idea comes. Maybe it's a chord progression, or if it's a riff, or if it's a melody, or anything, and then we just immerse ourselves in that idea and see where the idea takes us. We're just thinking about the music. We're not thinking about how that piece of music is going to do later on. Because we have no control over that. The only control we have is to write the best music we can, according to our abilities, according to our inspiration, according to our efforts. We need to put effort in. That is the thing we can actually control. Once it's out, then it takes a different life, because maybe you were inspired. I was inspired for example, from Ludwig Wittgenstein for some things that he did. Do the other people that listen to it think of him? Probably not. There are no lyrics or anything to just guide them to that direction. You know, they might be thinking it might trigger something different, or it will actually trigger something different to them, and that is the beauty of art. That is not we write something that we feel something, we have a need, and we write something, and then someone else listens to it, and it satisfies a different need that they have with their own experiences, with their own problems and beauty and issues and everything. So, but I think for them to truly feel and to what it is for them to feel, then we need to be in the moment when we're writing something, to be truly authentic and to serve the music, not to serve some future imaginary success. So that's definitely something I've learned from that piece, and to give every piece I write the weight and the effort it needs to be completed, and then after that it goes to where it wants to go. So yeah, that's what I had to say about this piece. I hope some of these were helpful. I'm thinking of making a video about these ideas. Let me know what you think. So the next piece I will be playing is it's called Fading Memories, and it's from my upcoming album 9 Moments. That piece will be released on February 20th. And I'll play one more piece before I conclude this live stream. So that's a completely new piece. It's called Don't Try, Just Be.